Well, look what we got. We got ourselves a probably 2000, I think it's a 2010 Nissan Sentra. Just gonna turn off my truck so you guys can actually hear me. But we got ourselves a 2010 Nissan Sentra. This is actually owned by a guy here in my town, and some pretty cool things happened about this thing yesterday. This is his wife's car, and she was driving it, and I guess she hit a pothole or something, and there were some damages. Oh, here we go. Ready? Oh, whoa! So what happened was the lower ball joint let go, which ripped the axle out and bent the tie rod, and I think the strut may be bent. Not 100% sure about that. So he told me it kind of fell apart on the main street of our town, and he was freaking out, came to my house, knocked on the door, asked me to come help him immediately, so I jumped up and went to go help him. And after we got it on the trailer, I told him how much it would be to fix it, and he told me he's just going to buy a new car. So I purchased this one from him, and yeah, we are going to be fixing it, because I was thinking maybe like there's a Mad Max race this weekend, maybe take it there. But it's probably going to be canceled anyway. But then I was thinking, you know, the wife is trying to do more of these races, and this has a CVT transmission, so it's always got the proper gear all the time for the power that you're at. But then my wife looked at it, and she's like, I want to drive it. And I was like, you're ruining all my plans, like all of them. You just ruined all the plans I had made up in my head. It's got 105,000 K on it, and he said he was just going to go buy a 2020 and I could buy it off him. So I bought it off him. He said thanks very much for helping him. The car's got dings in every corner. Here, underneath here. Obviously right here there's a ding. The tire, I'm not sure how bad the tire is, because where it broke on the road, he went and got his other vehicle and strapped it to this one and tried to drag it, but then he couldn't drag it and the tire went right sideways. When I got it, I was able to get it on my trailer pretty easily, because I'm used to doing stuff like this because of derby cars. The first thing I'm going to look for is actually the locking nut tool, and then we're going to take a quick look over it to see what does this thing need for safety. For my wife to drive, obviously brakes, because those brakes are not very good. I don't really think they've kind of done any maintenance to it, so I'm hoping at least it's had oil changes, and I'm going to check the transmission fluid and all that. But it's a 2010, so it's 10 years old, and it's got 100,000 K on it, which is not a lot of kilometers. So I'm kind of hoping that things are okay with it. I'm definitely going to look at the other ball joint, though. So I've already ordered some parts off Rock Auto for this. They'll be here probably in the next 2 days, because I'm not really needing it off my trailer. So instead of damaging everything and trying to get into the shop, I'll wait until I can just put the ball joint in and all that fun stuff and just put it in the shop that way. So we're going to try to take this front end apart so we can see what is damaged and see if I need to order anything else. But first things first, we need to find the locking nut. So I have looked through the entire car and I have not found the tool to take that off. So I'm going to show you the way how to do it without it. You need a 12-point socket. I grabbed an 18 and a 19. Turns out 19 is the one you want. You put it on there. You really got to hammer it on there. And then you just put the pry bar on it. You only get one chance, so you know you want to put it on there pretty good. Just going to let the car down a bit. And then, just like that, she just comes right off. Now the hard part is actually getting the lug nut out of the socket. You gotta go to a vise and you gotta pound the thing out. But that's how you do that. So we have all four of these off now, and I don't know if you can see it, but you can see where the socket puts lines on the locking nut, and it just applies a lot of pressure all the way around the outside. So you have to hammer it on enough so it grabs, and then you just undo it. But you can't use an impact, you just got to use a Johnson bar. So we'll go get a 21 mil. We'll finish taking off this tire. Now, I'll tell you some of the parts I ordered, and we'll see if we have to order more. Okay, stuff didn't really come apart very nicely at all over here. I can't get the axle out of the hub. I can't get the ABS sensor out of the hub. Sorry, the spindle. So I took that out as a unit. You can clearly see how much I've been pounding on this. I got it soaked in fluid. I'm going to go bring it in the shop and put it in a vise and just pound the heat to it and pound the lubricating oil to it. We got the control arm out. You guys can clearly see that that ball joint was bad for a while. So it kind of makes me a little bit nervous about the other side. So I'll go take a look at the other side once I get this all apart. Oh, you can see the ball joint still there. That's had water in it for a while. That's been gone for quite some time. Other than that, the control arm's good. But I did just buy a whole new control arm because I remember how hard it is to push these things in and out on the car. So I figured I'd have to take it out, and then I seen some of this rust. So I just ordered the whole control arm. It was like 11 or 12 bucks just for the ball joint, or $30 for the whole control arm. So I just ordered the whole control arm. Now the axle, I did order a full axle shaft, but that looks really difficult to take out. So I might just half shaft the new axle, not 100%. This one here is actually missing some of the pieces on the inside of it, so I can't just put that back together. Plus now I've kind of completely mushroomed the front of it. But yeah, honestly, the sway bar, I had to use a come along and pull it back so I could get the bolt out for the control arm. Oh, this is not going together very well. I had to take all this out to get the connection for the ABS. This is a lot of work for something that is just something that the wife wants to drive. But let's go get this axle out. This thing here is going to be bothering me all day if I don't get it out. So I'm going to go put it into a vise, give it some heat, and give her some fluid and let her sink in, and hopefully I can pound her apart. Remember how I told you guys that I was having a hard time taking out the axle shaft? Well, apparently it was much harder than what it should be. I ended up having to take the torch, cut the end of it off, cut the whole body off the back of the axle, undo the bearing, and then pound out the bearing. I even made a homemade puller to try to push that out, but that's not coming out. I do not understand why this was this hard to come apart. There is no reason for this. Holy mackerel. This is crazy. Like, I melted everything. I need a new ABS sensor now. I need a new wheel bearing. I need new everything now. I can't believe how much of a pain in the bum this was. Now, I imagine it's because this car's had pretty much little to no maintenance for the last 10 years, but still, there is no reason that a car... I had this whole thing glowing red, just glowing, and it still wouldn't come out. Still wouldn't come out. So I ended up having to cut the whole axle shaft, the whole cup and everything out, and then I had to pound the wheel bearing out backwards with the axle still in it. I couldn't believe it. So it looks like I have to go back to Rock Auto and order quite a bit more parts now because, wow, was not expecting this. We still have to pull out the bottom ball joint, but this thing is like 1,000 degrees right now. So I'm going to let it cool down a bit. We're going to pull the bottom ball joint and then go order more pieces, apparently, because now I need an ABS sensor, I need a wheel bearing, and I'm definitely half shafting this axle now because this is ridiculous. I am not risking pulling more bolts out of that motor if it is going to give me this much troubles. I can't believe how hard this was. This is supposed to be something that's just supposed to slide in there and come apart. Well, I've tore this side apart, and I don't know if I'm going to regret it or not, but I figured since the ball joint went on the other side, this one's probably pretty close, and honestly, that one's probably close. So maybe it's a good thing that I'm tearing it apart. So we're going to get a lower control arm for this side because it comes with a ball joint, and we're going to get all new brakes because the brakes are garbage on this. Here's the pads that were on it. Yeah, I think those are due for changing. You know, you could probably get another 10,000 kilometers out of them, but why? I'm just joking. They're done. They're done. Don't worry, everybody. I'm going to order new brakes. I smashed my my finger with a hammer, and now the nail's going red. This is way bigger of a job than I thought this was going to be. I was really hoping that that axle would just pop out of that wheel bearing, but no, it's that's a no bueno, that's for sure. So we're going to be doing this here, and we're going to order 4 new lug nuts because we got rid of all the locking nuts all around this thing. And then that's about it. That's about it. Yeah, so there's still a lot of work. I need to go in the house and order some pieces. It's probably going to be about 3 days before everything gets in, maybe 4. So I guess hopefully I don't find another car that I want because it's sitting on this trailer and I don't think it's going to move. So thanks for watching, everybody. I don't know how long it's going to be until we see this thing again, but it's probably going to become a daily driver and probably not a derby car. But thanks for watching, everybody. This was a little bit bigger of a job than I thought it was going to be, and it's not going very well. Definitely not. So thanks for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow on Zach's Workshop.